Good Thursday morning to you. As we're in the midst of a lockdown here in Oregon, a freeze, I guess we're calling it, and it's happening all across the country, I've been noticing a lot of people have shifted from the what's next to, of course, that perspective of no longer being surprised by all of the things that are happening in our world, but almost sarcastically and cynically expecting them. I have to admit, I fall in that category from time to time. It seems like with another round of bad news, whether it has something to do with COVID or whether it has anything to do with anything else happening in the world, or maybe it's just something very specific to you, it seems like we have accepted that this year is the year of everything to go wrong. And I have a hard time with that because I like to think that everything isn't bad. I like to think that there is positive and there's good that is happening. And so this morning I turned to Psalm 91. If you are familiar with Lutheran hymns, you've heard the song sung on eagle's wings. That's the song that you would have heard. He will bear us up on eagle's wings, lest we dash our foot against a stone. It is a beautiful song that I'd love to tag in here, but YouTube doesn't like it when we copyright when we infringe on copyright restrictions. But if you get a chance, YouTube on eagle's wings when you're done with this video, because that's what this psalm is all about. And for this moment, for this time together, I just want to read the psalm to you. It says, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. He will say to the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. You will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes, you will see punishment of the wicked. If you say the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift up their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra, you will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble, but I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation." You know what I love about this psalm? It reminds us that it doesn't say we aren't going to struggle. It doesn't say we aren't going to have, the fear of the day or it uses words like plagues and arrows of the night. It doesn't say we're not going to experience any of those things. But what it is the assurance that God is with us in the midst of them. God is with us in the midst of all of the struggles that we face, both when the psalmist wrote this psalm and even here today in 2020. God is in the midst of lockdowns and economic issues that are never ending. God is in the midst of diagnosis and surgeries and whatever else might be happening. God's in the midst of hardship financially or physically or mentally or with your family or whatever it might be. And I think this year more than any, we have become ever more aware of how long that list can be. God is in the midst of it, and all God requires of us is to call on his name, to put our faith in him, to trust in him. The answer that the psalmist writes of God is something of beauty. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will. Think about that. Is that your relationship with God today? Do you hear God saying, because you love me, I will? Now the danger is that we put our wills in replacement for God's will. And that's always a hard thing. But to really believe those words because we love the Lord, because He loves me, because she loves me, God says, I will. My will be done. I think it's a beautiful prayer. It's a beautiful reminder of how we are meant to live our faith, even in the midst of struggle, even in the midst of hardship. It's always easier to have faith when everything is going great. But this is, as I like to say, where we have to put our money where our mouth is. If we believe, then we have to act accordingly. We have to respond to God's will, and we have to put our trust in the one who promises that no disaster will come near us, the one who promises his angels to command over us, the one who promises to never leave us or forsake us. Have a great day.